what do you think are the basics we should have?
So you should definitely have a blazer. Everyone should have a blazer. Just whether you're going, and I know sometimes you're like, oh, it's so corporate. It can be, but it also cannot be. Again, it's like how you choose to style it. So I think everyone should, and I also with to like piggyback off the blazer, every woman should have a suit, whether it's solid black, pinstripe, a navy, a gray.
Caring for others is part of your life, but it's not all of it. This is your space for growth, confidence, and connection to the whole you. Welcome to the DaliTalks podcast. Welcome back to the DaliTalks podcast. I have today an amazing speaker. Her name is Bridget Blacksten, and she is a fashion industry stylist. And I'm so excited to have her on here because I was telling her that I've had challenges with styling my body. Welcome, Bridget. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me. How are you?
I'm excited about this conversation because, like I said, you're going to teach me a lot of things, and not just me, but our audience. So let's start with your exciting background that I am already aware of, but I would like our listeners to get an idea of how you landed, how you ended up being in the fashion industry.
Absolutely. So I've always loved playing dress up as a kid. Just it's always just been in my blood and just doing all the things, fashion, clothes, shoes. But with that, I also have a performing background. So while I was studying musical theater, I was doing auditioning, that whole thing, but I didn't want the typical like restaurant job. So I was choosing retail and I was just doing little styling gigs here and there just through the retail space. And then I was living in New York for a while. And during that time frame, I was able to work for a pretty well-known company called Rent the Runway that offered private studio styling appointments. So it was really one-on-one with all walks of life, people going to galas, people going to other events, some award shows that were maybe happening throughout New York. But it was really opening doors and giving me an experience of like how to help people create a wardrobe, whether it's just your everyday wear or for specific events. And with that, I met a couple colleagues that we stayed in touch with. Fast forward a few years, moved back to Los Angeles, and a stylist at the time needed some assisting and like help with some photo shoots coming up and just some client work. So I really was just thrown into it because the friend that I worked with her as well, but just across the country. And he was like, hey, I know you're back in Los Angeles. They need some help. Want to help them out? And I was like, absolutely. And from there, everything just unfolded. And I was able to experience some high-end styling for the last 7 years. And it was really anything from photo shoots to press events to advertising commercials, whether they were tied to a certain brand. So it really opened the doors and my eyes to see all the different avenues throughout styling. And I really got excited to just be able to dive in and just see all the different ways that you can elevate someone's look and life, just whether depending on like the story you're trying to tell.
Yeah, wow, that's incredible. I can only imagine. I think most of us think it's such a glamorous job and so exciting because you get to meet really important people, celebrities, and things like that. So when you were in there in doing all that work, working with all these incredible people, how did you stay grounded and just like focus on the job?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's so fast paced. Like this industry is forever not only evolving just with the times, the way the world is, but also just with how advanced technology continues to grow and how we can incorporate that within the fashion world. And you always have to be pretty much 5 steps ahead. The way that a lot of designers work are already seasons ahead. So when we're in fall and winter, they're already out with spring and summer of next year. And it just keeps going that way. So with that, to help stay grounded, I'm just constantly reviewing specific collections from different designers or just looking at what's in your department stores and just finding ways to navigate how to make something like how to be relatable within all the glamour because a lot of things there's the bells and the whistles, but there's still something that's really sweet about how you carry yourself, how you can express yourself by what you're physically wearing, on top of how whatever the rest of your job is. And so I really learned to like, while it's very fast paced, to just really like take in what we're dealing with, what do we want to focus on, what's the story we're trying to tell, just so all the other noise just kind of like simmers. And it's like, how can we just hone in on some beautiful work and create fun?
Yeah. I like that you mentioned, like the pieces that they have, how far ahead that they are with planning wardrobe and things like that. So now that you've transitioned from working with these high profile people, and now you're helping people like me and like, the average person that wants to feel confident in what they wear and look good, but we don't have that huge budget. What are some of the basic tips that you can provide them?
So I always think to start small. Just think about what, if you're to like wake up and you want to just like run to the grocery store, or you have to go to the bank, or you have a quick meeting coming up. Like, what are just like basic essentials that you can just grab and go in your closet and then mix and match? So I'm very much a t-shirt jeans girl most of the time. Like, that is like my go-to. But that's kind of like your canvas, right? So it's like your starter, and it's like, how can we build on that to then create different type of wardrobe or whatever else you want to incorporate? So I really think it's important to have your different categories lined up. So you'll have like your t-shirts, you'll have your blouses, you'll have your sweaters. Then for like the bottoms, you'll have jeans, but some people don't like jeans, and totally fine. And so you could do like the trouser route. You could do like an elevated legging or different type of pant. There's dresses, skirts. There's definitely different ways to incorporate how you mix and match your style. But I always think it's important to kind of have your go-to pieces and then like build off of that. So whether it's putting a t-shirt with a blazer, or maybe you're wearing like a cropped denim jacket with it, so it sits at your waist depending on your figure, just to elongate your look. It's trial and error. You have to try things to just know like what works and what doesn't work. And unfortunately, in a lot of these department stores, if you're trying them on in the store, their mirrors are awful. Like, it's just completely transparent. The mirrors are awful. So you already feel defeated, and then you're in here trying these things and you're just like, oh no. But that's okay. Just kind of like take it with a grain of salt. Like, that's where like I'll like sometimes like set up my phone, or you bring a buddy shopping with you and you're like, will you take a video or photo of me? Because it will translate so much different than how you're even looking at yourself in the mirror.
That makes so much sense because too often I go into the dressing room, I try something on, it looks terrible. But then my daughter usually says, "Come on out, I want to see you." She
Right.
looks and she's like, "Oh my God, that's so cute." I'm like, "What?" No, it's not. And so we have this debate, and I end up not shopping, not taking anything home because I'm
Yes.
convinced that it was like, but the mirror just that was not cool. I didn't like what I saw. That's such a good point. I never thought about that. There's something else that you mentioned, like the pieces. Maybe you don't want to wear jeans, and that reminds me of Kevin Hart, one of his stand-ups recently. He said, I'm too old now. I'm not a jeans person anymore. And I thought, you know what? He was so funny about it. He's like, it hurts around the waist now.
Yes.
But it's like it's too uncomfortable. I'm an old man, I'm changing things. So when he said that, I could completely relate because I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of tired of jeans too. I've been wearing jeans and a t-shirt. That's been my style because I don't know how to elevate my look unless
Mhm.
somebody's helping me. So for people who are trying to make those changes, what stores do you think we should stay away from to find those good quality ones, but they're not going to break the bank?
Stores to stay away from.
Yes.
Okay. I think a lot of fast fashion stores are good to stay away from, because jeans are an investment. Like, just focusing on jeans for a minute, like quality does matter, and quality affects how it fits on you. And so if you're buying a $20 pair of jeans and like you don't need to spend hundreds of dollars. Sure, there's $300 to $500 jeans that are amazing. But for example, one, I know you said stay away, but I'm going to focus on one that I know works. So Abercrombie and Fitch, for instance, a lot of people are like, oh, it's too young for me, too youthful, but they've done a really great job of providing a range of not only sizing, but different, not only sizing, but also just like how the cut is. So whether it's a higher rise, a lower rise, a mid rise, different lengths. So if you're petite, if you're tall. So it, for instance, that's someone I go to because you can try on so many different things and they have great sales. The quality is really good. Like it will go through more than a couple washes. But also another trick for denim is the more you don't wash it, the better it wears. Because they're like, it's meant to be, whether it's like a stiffer or sturdier fabric, or even if there's a stretch, it kind of grows with you. So the more you wear it, the more it like forms to your body. And then it gets like more like worn in a good way. But back to like staying away, I mean, I think it just depends. Like there's been times where I've been in Macy's and I'm like, this is depressing. Like it's awful. And like they don't have the options and they don't have really anything. So I do think maybe more specific retail spaces that aren't department might be a better way to go to look for things. Levi's is old school, like tried and true, and they really have elevated themselves and have gotten a wider range as well, which is helpful because it's hard to just try to find the right color, the right fit, the right style. And you might have to go through 10, 15 pairs of just trying them in the store or wherever you're at to just really figure out what could be right for you. But it's better to at least go to a space that has the option so then you can exhaust it instead of being like, oh, well, I tried these and it didn't work.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Going to those specific, more, I would call them what, like more niched stores.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like one that comes to mind is Talbot's. I remember many years ago, somebody gifted me some pants from there. There were like slacks. They were
Yeah.
so nice. And then my kids were making fun of me because they were like, that's where old ladies shop.
Hey, if they got good pants, don't knock it.
And one of the things that I loved about it was that the pockets were not super short, like shallow. That's one of the most annoying things that I find in women's clothing where the pockets, and I don't carry a purse. I don't like it, which is very rare for a woman. So I like to put my little wallet in my pocket. And I find that so annoying that most garments for women, if they have pockets, are very shallow, very short. The cuts sometimes are too, I don't know, uncomfortable. Like sometimes they're too, like they're suffocating. And I get that they're trying to do it, yeah, to be kind of like form fitting, but I think
Yeah.
that they miss. And then sometimes I think it's, oh, well, maybe I have the wrong size, but yeah, it's a struggle.
Yeah. And sometimes you will be like, sizing is all over the place. So
Hmm.
you could be a 4 in something, a 6 in something, even an 8. Like it can really vary depending on like where it's made, what they're using, how they're designing it. So that has been a frustration even with clients because they're like, I just want to know I'm a size 28 and like be done with it. But it's like, I know. And for the most part, with quality, you will be the same size because it's designed a different way. But it's just the nature of it. Like you're just going to be different sizes sometimes. But one umbrella of a company that sparked my mind while we were just talking was, and that's a great place to shop, is Banana Republic, Gap, Old Navy. They're all under the same umbrella of ownership and they really have it down. Whether you're looking for denim, you're looking for shorts, you're looking for like whatever you're looking for, like you will find something there. And it's really easy to mix and match and it doesn't break the bank. So it's like a win across the board.
Okay, those are some good ones. Okay, thank you for mentioning that. You also mentioned low rise, high rise, and that reminded me of something I read a long time ago about women who are large up top should wear V-cut and things like that. So are there some rules that you think the public should know about those type of things, what to look for or not look for if your body is, heavier or bigger up top than the bottom or vice
Yeah,
versa?
I think again, it's situational to like your own comfort level. Like if you want to be more open chested, like so be it. And if you want to be more closed off, I do think depending on the space between shoulder to head, like you always want to kind of like keep a gap or like a break. So you don't want something neutral or maybe that blends with your skin tone to go all the way up unless you have something that's going to break the color barrier. I think wearing can't go wrong with black. I think also having a pop of color is always great to just go into the season. But like scoop neck, V neck, mock neck. I
Wait,
really think
what are these? All I know is V-neck.
okay, so V neck is like your
Uh-huh.
classic V. A scoop is pretty much what I'm wearing. It
Mhm.
could go a little lower. A mock neck is kind of like halfway in between. So it isn't like a full
Oh,
turtleneck. It's just
okay.
kind of like half of the turtleneck in a
Mhm.
way. And then usually there's a scoop when you're wearing like a camisole, but it's always great. I've noticed for bustier women to like wear a camisole and then a nice jacket, blazer, just so you don't feel stuffy or suffocated, but yet you still are supported and you feel good, you look good. And so whether that's with a blazer, a jacket, even like with a sweater, cardigan, depending on where you're going or what you're doing, like it's a nice, easy layer to just throw on, but still like feel put together and not so like closed off.
See, I need a class on all of that. Like I need visuals too because
Yes. And that's where Pinterest is my best friend. Like
mhm.
you can just, and you can Google things too, but I like Pinterest because you could just, whatever you're thinking, you could just write it in broken words basically. And it'll at least give you idea, like you can at least get ideas like, oh, like pink top with jeans or like a spring out, like a spring day outfit. And whether you want ideas from them or you have things in your closet that you're like, oh, I want to see how I can style this. It can at least, for the most part, like spark your mind or be like, oh, like I can pair this with this skirt that I have that I forgot. Or, oh, I have these jeans, but maybe it'll go better with this sneaker than this sandal based on how the styling is. And so it really helps get things good. Like I'm very visual as well. Like it helps me to like see something first and be like, okay, I can put that together and like okay, let me mimic that. Let me create my own version of that.
Okay, yeah, I definitely have gone to Pinterest. My challenge is not knowing the terms, like what you just said, scoop neck. I had never heard of that. Or the other things that you said. So for those of us who are not educated on that, how can we start with that? Like, is there somewhere that you could recommend for
Okay,
us to learn?
I honestly think you could Google like types of t-shirts, even just starting there, and
Mhm.
there'll be
Okay.
a visual of different t-shirts or like different top cuts, and it'll give you different ways of different designs because
Yeah.
something could be like a one shoulder, it could be a
Mhm.
halter. And that depending on like what season we're in, or if it's warmer weather, you're gonna have less clothes. Like your clothes are gonna be more like flowy and breezy and not so many layers.
Yeah. No.
So I think there's just always a way to like just, and honestly, sometimes on certain websites when you're like going through like the size guide of things, or if you're like, oh, like let me just check to see, because I feel like most websites nowadays are up to date on that and they offer a size range, or they tell you like, oh, if you're this, choose between medium and large. But it also sometimes will give you a visual of like the different types of shirts as well.
That is a great idea. I'm going to do that. Just a funny story I want to share because of the lack of knowledge of styles and what things are. And when I came to the US, I was 7, and I remember my mom sending me to school, and I wore this thing that we all thought was a dress. And I get to school, and my sister and I are wearing it, and people are just laughing and pointing and stuff. And we were like, I don't get it. Come to find out, they were PJs. It was just like a tunic with like
Okay.
quarter length,
Yeah.
yeah, quarter length sleeves, and it was kind of rounded at the bottom. And I remember asking my mom, I was like, "Are you sure that's a dress? It looks weird."
You're like, "Are you
This
sure this is clothes for today?"
this was the 80s.
I love it. I bet you rocked it.
Bridget. It was so I think now that I think about it, that's probably why I have this complex of like fashion. And I play it safe because I don't know what things are called or how you're supposed to wear certain things and stuff like that. That's why I ask, like, what do I even start Googling certain terms that I might not be aware of? So, but that's a good question, typing in types of t-shirts, something
Yeah.
that simple. What do you think are the basics we should have?
So you should definitely have a blazer. Everyone should have a blazer. Just whether you're going, and I know sometimes you're like, oh, it's so corporate. It can be, but it also cannot be. Again, it's like how you choose to style it. So I think everyone should have, and I also with to like piggyback off the blazer, every woman should have a suit, whether it's solid black, pinstripe, a navy, a gray. You can go into like the hot pink colors or certain things for like breast cancer awareness month and things like if it's like compatible with the season, or if your favorite color is hot pink, like yeah, get the hot pink blazer, rock it. But I really think having a suit is essential, because whether you're going to a certain business meeting or you have like an evening event, it just is like a sharp go-to, especially if you're picking up the kids, you're doing this, you have to make dinner, you have 500 things that you have to do, and then you have 5 seconds to like take care of you. You got that suit that's tried and true, and just like go on, and you're going to feel confident and good going into the space you're going into wearing something like this. A button down, everyone should have a white button down. There's many ways to wear it. Like you can just wear the white button down by itself. You can wear it open with a camisole or t-shirt underneath it, or even a sweater, depending on how you're wearing it. You can wear it loose over pants. You can wear it tucked in with jeans. There's definitely different ways, like roll up the sleeves, even just like having a shirt and just the small action of rolling it up or giving it a little texture. That's like what creates the style. So you can literally have like the most basic piece of clothing on, but just the little details you do to make it interesting is helping create the style of like what you're expressing. Definitely a pair of jeans, definitely a pair of trouser pants, whether it's part of your suit or not. A little black dress, always good to have. Just always good to have. Then you can, again, pair it with like tall boots, short boots, sneakers, depending on where you're like what type of the event is. You can wear it with tights, you can wear it bare-legged. That's always staple. Like accessories, I think are very important in this lineup. So like having your go-to belt, because sometimes you don't necessarily actually need the belt for the function of the belt. It just adds a little element to breaking up the look. So if you're wearing black on black, but you have like a cute little black leather belt with gold hardware, it's just going to create some like separation and division and just like make the look a little more interesting. And like, oh, like, okay, I see how they put that together. Like, that's cool. A watch, or like what, if not a watch, bracelet, something, just like something to just like break up, especially if you're wearing solids, to just like break it up a little, but still it's not like so showy. If you have like a statement necklace you want to wear, absolutely wear it, but make sure that is the only focal point, because then you're going to get too busy with the big earring and the big necklace and the big here, and it just gets overwhelming. So less is more in that space. Like you definitely, it's easy to overdo it So it's better to just find one focal piece. So whether it's the belt or whether it's your necklace or an earring, or I mean, watches kind of, it depends if you're obviously wearing a very fancy watch, like
Mm-hmm.
show it off. But then if you have your, everyday watch, that could just be part of everything else as well. What else do we need? Shoes. I'm a big shoe person. I find a need and an excuse for them all the time. So I think sneakers, heels, whether it's you could have your flats. I think in terms of colors, it's just great to have neutrals. So like black, brown, white, but if you have printed things or a leather shoe versus a suede loafer, or just like playing off of different materials is always good to have. Your purses, like you can have your one go-to purse, that's fine. But if you do have a purse that's like that could be your pop of color. So that's always interesting. Like have the purse be the statement moment, and like your outfit, just make that look good. Think of other essentials.
Or what about men?
Men. That's a good one. So there's so definitely like their trousers. Trousers, they should definitely have, like every man should have like a pair of like khaki trousers, black trousers, navy trousers, like just the solids. More like the earth tones, I would say. And then you can like bring out other things again, depending on like the season. T-shirts, like crew neck. So like a crew neck t-shirt can be so like in like a thicker wash. So if it's like a deep, rich black or like a dark, just like something that's like not faded and like a little more fitted, it could literally be $5 from Target, but look like $1,000,000. So it just like depends on how you wear it with your pants. Loafers, so important. And a great pair of loafers, great pair of white leather sneakers, in my opinion. I think it's very helpful for a man to have that. Again, belt is essential. Usually like having a brown one, having a black one, because then you can interchange it between if you're wearing gray or if you're wearing brown or green. A great jacket. So like a sports coat jacket, as well as an evening jacket, is so essential, because you can literally have that one. And that's where I think it's worth investing, because it's something that you're going to have for ideally the next 10 to 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can have, and sure, you can upgrade, you can have multiple of them, but typically when I call it like an investment piece, like you're going to have this for the next 15 to 20 years to use. Obviously, like with shoes and things like that, and like your sizing can change, but for the most part, when it comes to like your outerwear, I think it's worth investing a little more in, because you're not wearing it as frequently, but it's something that's a good go-to that can last as long as you want it to.
And then, well, with them, I feel like it's easier because the accessories are pretty much just a watch, maybe, and
Yeah.
a chain.
Even like glasses, like your
Oh,
glasses,
right.
like sunglasses or your regular like day-to-day glasses that's such like it's already a way of expressing your style, because it's like what you like, how the shape is and how the look, maybe the color, how it is, like that in itself, you're kind of already getting to know what this person's about just based off of that little detail.
Yeah. What about some don'ts for men and women?
Don'ts. Okay. Like the super skinny jeans for men have got to go.
I agree.
Got to go. Like I don't like, I do not need to see how tight your thighs are. Like we get it. You work out, you're a man, but like, please just tone it down a little bit. I also think men should not have like holes in their pants. I don't think the ripped jean look, like we've been there, done that. I don't think that does not need to come back for
Mm-hmm.
men. Certain hats for men are like a no. If you have, just let it be. Just let it be natural. Like you don't need to like wear a hat with every single thing. Like if you're wearing a hat with every look, like you don't need to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessary.
Yeah.
For women, the don'ts. I think the biggest thing is coloring. So if you're more fair, like I'm pretty fair, like pastels will wash me out. So try
Mm-hmm.
to stay away from pastels. Like jewel tones are great across the board. And pastels are beautiful, but don't have it be everywhere because you're just gonna blend. So I feel like more don'ts. It's like don't lean too much into certain colors, but also like prints. Like if you already have a print on top, your bottom needs to be solid. Like
Mm-hmm.
unless it's a matching set that's meant to be like gingham on gingham, let's say. But other than that, like have one print and like let it be. And then just like let everything else be neutral around that. It gets like too chaotic when there's so many prints happening and so many colors. And then it's like, okay, what are we doing here? Like, where is this?
Right.
I would say that's probably the biggest don't is like
Mhm.
the prints and like the colors for women. And also, I don't know, I used to be like sizing, but a lot of people like are starting to wear that like the baggier clothes or like I feel like with women we can get away more with like fitted versus baggy. I don't think there's personally for me like a rule that I'm like I don't want to see that. Yeah, it's more like the colors.
Okay, thank you. That's really interesting hearing the don'ts for men. I mean, the skinny jean, I completely agree with that. I don't know who ever even decided to create those for men.
Yeah.
It's just not for everybody. What about quality? You and I had a discussion before this, and we were talking about looking at the quality of clothes. And I feel like for most of us who don't know about stitches and things like that, what are some things to look for in clothing that can indicate that it's of good quality? Because price doesn't necessarily mean that it's of good quality.
Absolutely. So one generic rule and something I always go to look for is if it's on the 100% cotton. Like
Hmm.
cotton is great. And if it's 100% cotton, even better. It's going to last. There's quality behind it. It's going to wear nicely. It's going to wash nicely. Nothing's going to bleed or shrink. You definitely want to read. It's really good, like when you're picking up an article of clothing to like, I know usually the labels are like so long and there's 7 things to go through. If you can locate it, like poly blends, obviously that's naturally in most of our wardrobe, but you want to just kind of stay away from like high poly blends or rayon, that
Hmm.
sort of fabric, because it's just very disposable and like it's not going to keep as long and it's not something to invest in. If you're paying like less than $10 for something, knowing that like, okay, like this t-shirt can get a few wears and then I'll be done with it, that's a different story. But if it's something that you're really wanting to have for a few years at least, obviously things wear more the more you wear it, but anything like more in the 100% cotton route is a way to go.
I love that. I have actually had a challenge finding 100% cotton items. And I don't know if it's because I'm going to just the wrong stores, but I found that so interesting when you talk about poly. It is amazing how many articles of clothing have a lot of poly in it.
Yeah,
Synthetic fibers are just like the way that the industry is going. So,
absolutely.
yeah.
There are
So,
a lot of brands that are trying to be more responsibly sourceful and they're very like knowledgeable in it and they definitely make it known like are everything's sustainable, like sustainably resourced, but at the same time like with sustainable also comes a price. Like it's
mhm,
hard to find cheap sustainable kind of in a way
yeah.
because they are responsibly resourcing these items and finding a way to like reuse, reduce, repurpose, which is great. But you won't always, it's like varying, like, okay, do you want something do you want to spend a little more for something a little more responsibly sourceful or like spend a little less, but have something that like might only last a little bit. So And that isn't for every case, but it's just kind of varying the odds between that.
Yeah, you have given us so many wonderful tips. So my next question is, when people work with you, what does that look like? And what budget do you work with?
Sure. So I work with all budgets, and what's really exciting is no client is the same. So I really cater to anyone's needs. Some people it's seasonal styling, so it's like I go into their closet one time a season and just do a whole refresh, whether it's taking things out, doing specific shopping for them to feed in factor, like fill in pieces, see what hasn't been working for them, see what has been working for them. If it's not that, sometimes it's just like for specific events, like, hey, I have X, Y, and Z coming up in the next 3 months. I need 3 different looks. So it looks like that. It really is situational to the needs of the client. Some things are just, like I'm sick of my closet altogether. Like I want to start over. So then we'd come up with a shopping budget outside of the budget of like creating their closet. And so everything's very attainable. It's just being completely transparent. And like there should be no fear of like, oh, like I don't have enough money. Like just people will work with what they can work with. And it doesn't need to necessarily cost a lot depending on what your needs are. And, there's also different places that like you can, for certain events, you can like rent stuff. So you don't actually have to even like go and buy and own it. If you're going to this extravagant event and you're never going to wear this dress again, like there are different platforms and programs that exist now that are awesome for situations like that. So I can kind of help bring that to life and show that option as well. If it's like, okay, you don't need 6 gowns for the rest of your life for this instance, going to 6 gown events, like just borrow it and like pay a fee for that. But it's out of sight, out of mind, like unless there's something that you want to own. So it really is situational, like whether it's seasonal, whether it's one-on-one, whether it's virtual, in person, like it's all possible. And then of course there's like specific like brand styling, campaign styling outside of the private clients where that's just really doing whatever the brand needs and fulfilling the task.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I love the idea of having somebody come in and just like review my closet and tell me, you need to keep this, you need to get rid of this, and
Yeah.
then do the necessary shopping with your expertise, especially, tailored to my body and also my taste because everybody's very different. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's always like evolving, like something that you loved 1, 2, 3 years ago, you may be over now. So it's like, oh, I want to try something new or see what else there is. And there's so many avenues of what you also want to get rid of. Like I help sell that as well. So like you can monetize off of what you should be able to make money in the process of getting new stuff. And so if obviously I usually create piles. So it's donation, what's sellable, what is maybe just trash, depending on stains or things like that, like rag purposes, and just really dividing it all up to just start fresh or see like how you can make your closet work for you.
Yeah, I love that. And where can people find you?
So you can find me on my website. I also have a link to do a free consultation. So happy to share that as well. You can find me on Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, like I'm accessible on all platforms.
Awesome. And that's bridgetblacksten.com and Bridget Blacksten on Instagram. Is that where you're mostly active on Instagram?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much, Bridget. This has been very insightful. Hopefully, it helps a lot of people. I know it definitely helps me. And any last words before you go, especially in regards to working with you?
Oh, absolutely. I would love to help anyone that I can. And I'm so excited. People should have fun getting dressed every day. And so I would love to help bring that joy and make it an exciting time and play dress up with your clothes. There's nothing better.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Play dress up. Because some of us we're so into our adulthood or our adulting that we forget to have fun.
Yes,
So
we need to
yeah,
have fun.
thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, did you like that episode? I have an ask. Would you mind leaving me a review? It would really help me improve this podcast so that you can come back and keep listening. Also, don't forget to check me out at DaliTalks.com and follow me on social media at DaliTalks. Until next time.